It's a homecoming and a farewell for Jeff Gordon, the final time this weekend that he will race a Sprint Cup car at his home track just across the bay from Vallejo, where he grew up and started racing quarter midgets at a very young age. However, 43 other drivers will challenge Gordon for the pole for tomorrow's Toyota Save Mart 350. It's Sprint Cup qualifying live on Fox Sports 1. Let's go downstairs. Jamie Little.
Well, after practice yesterday, a lot of people eyeing the 78 of Martin Truex Jr., saying you are one of the top two cars, but the focus now is on qualifying. How challenging is it to get that perfect lap or two laps here?
It's definitely tough, because we haven't been in the car since yesterday. You got all night to think about it. Usually you make a few changes here and there. It's a lot cooler this morning and expect the track to pick up some speed. So you're going to have to get out there and try to get it all without going over that edge. So Furniture Row Chevy's been good this weekend. We were pretty good in qualifying trim yesterday, and the cool thing about this style of qualifying is you have more than one chance. It used to be you'd come here and you only had one lap, and one mistake would put you in, middle to rear of the pack, and that was tough. So today you got a little bit of chance to recover if something goes wrong.
All right, Martin Truex Jr. once again in a brand new race car and a former winner here, Matt.
Jamie, each race weekend, spotters play an important role. Their role takes on even greater importance when it comes to qualifying, trying to manage the time when their driver needs to roll off pit road. Normally, they're on top of the grandstand on the front stretch. But here at Sonoma, they're up on top of one of the highest elevations to get the best view they can here at Sonoma. Now, Joey Myers, Brad Keselowski's spotter. Now, Joey, what are some of the challenges that you face, especially due to 3 or 4 blockages of your view, of trying to manage the gap for Brad to get a clean lap?
Normally at a regular racetrack, when we roll off a pit road, we blend all of our drivers right off for turn 2. It's really easy. As a driver goes by, we time ourselves so that our driver has plenty of room in behind that. Here at Sonoma Raceway, it's one of our longest timed racetracks, 80 to 90 seconds to get around this place leaving pit road. So we're having to manage the gaps and paint a three-dimensional picture as large as we can. That'll start over in turn 7 and all the way down the S's into 11, trying to time our driver as he's leaving pit road. Now, he doesn't want to leave pit road as fast as he can because he doesn't want to wear the goodiness off the tire. So he's trying to go slow up the front side of the racetrack all the way over to 7, and we're managing that gap with the cars that are already up to speed so that our driver can get the run down the S's and start coming to his green flag lap with the best possible conditions on his tires.
So pulling a number of the spotters, the final 6 or 7 minutes of the first session could be the most crucial for you guys to give him the best information possible so he can visualize if he has to make a second run.
Yeah, we have a timed lap about 80 to 90 seconds from the time we leave pit road to make us all the way around to the start-finish line, plus the minute and 20 seconds for the lap. So we're going to look at 4 minutes at the end of the first session to be really, really critical, where everybody that's trying to make that last 12-car session is really going to be on the track. Guys that are finishing their laps are going down the S's trying to be out of the way. We're trying to get up to speed and get out of their way, so it'll be a big traffic jam down the back of the S's for sure.
Now the spotters are up on top of the hill just at the exit of turn 2, and Mike Joy, it's going to definitely be a beautiful view, but an exciting view.
Yeah, it's a complicated commute here at Sonoma. We'll listen in on Joey Meyer and Brad as they qualify. Larry Mack and I'll break things down here in a minute. Jeff Gordon at the get ready for his final Sonoma Sprint Cup qualifying session. Jimmy Johnson, Tony Stewart. Boris Said is in the race driving for Frank Stoddard. Dale Jr., Kyle Busch, and wow, and having a look at things over. Round 1, 25 minutes. That will determine spots 13 to 43 and the one driver who goes home. Then just 2 rounds of qualifying here. The second round after a 10-minute break is 10 minutes, 12 cars to set the Coors Light pole. Jamie?
And a man who knows how to get the job done and get the pole here is Jeff Gordon, a 5-time pole sitter. You're talking about the strategy here, and with 2 rounds of qualifying, Jeff, what is your plan?
I think we're probably going to wait a little bit, try to get a cleaner spot on the track with fewer cars. Plus, the K&N cars just ran, so just to get a little bit of this Goodyear rubber down would probably be a good thing, and see what kind of lap times we're seeing guys put down there too. The conditions are perfect, and our AARP Member Advantages Services Chevrolet was good yesterday, and hopefully we can put down another good one today.
You enjoying being back at your home track? The mobs of people has been impressive here.
It's been amazing. Really has been. The track has gone above and beyond, and so have the fans, and I can't thank them enough. So it's been a very special weekend, and we haven't even qualified yet. So hopefully today and tomorrow go well. We can give back to what this track and these fans out here have meant to me, and my family too. I've got so many family and friends here. So we're ready to put on a heck of a show and make a great final weekend here at Sonoma out of it.
And it has been a weekend of tributes so far, Mike.
And a great week for Jeff Gordon. Now, yesterday in practice, Larry, Turn 2 seemed to be calamity corner. The car gets real light coming up that hill. Of course, first you got to get through turn 1.
Yeah, and I mean, they're going down to second gear there. Now, Casey Mears, he missed turn 1. That's what led to missing turn 2. Eric Almirola just getting the power down. There's Paul Menard completely off the racetrack. Just spinning those rear tires in lack of what we call forward bite or forward drive off the corner.
When you apex turn 2 right there, you're coming up over a blind rise. It's hard to see that track out point. Got to make sure you have enough racetrack. That's even more significant at turn 3A. As the Sprint Cup drivers get ready to qualify on the road course, Jeff Gordon climbs aboard what he hopes is a fast horse. Stay connected to the Sprint Cup Series with Sprint during the Cut Your Bill in Half event. Just bring them your Verizon or AT&T wireless bill and your current phone. Joey Logano's 4 poles this season leads all drivers in the Sprint Cup Series. Now, you heard Brad Keselowski, his teammate spotter Joey Meyer, talking about the challenges of Sonoma. Let's get the other half of the story from Jamie.
Well, in practice, final practice, that is yesterday, you and your teammate weren't too happy. In what areas, Brad, or places on the track did you need to be a little better?
Everywhere. You know, you come to turn 4, and the guys like to joke because you hit the curb and the whole car's in there, and they keep telling me, well, we can't fix that. And I said, well, I've got to do something, so I'm trying to make the course shorter. But we just haven't found what we need yet, Jamie. And, you know, we still have some time left here with qualifying and a little bit of time to prep the car before Sunday with tonight. So we just have been a little bit off with both Team Penske cars here. This is kind of one of our weaker tracks, and we're going to keep working and fighting through it. This track here is so much different than everywhere else we go, and we just haven't been able to figure it out. So hopefully we can figure it out this weekend when it counts on Sunday.
Using qualifying as a little bit of a test session for Brad Keselowski.
Sure is, Jamie. Everybody loves coming to Sonoma. A lot of these drivers love driving it, but not everyone. These 11 turns present quite a bit of challenges, Larry, and more part throttle time than anywhere we go.
It's just trying to get that power down. But, yeah, the start-finish line is somewhere right in here, Mike. And you go up the hill, turn 1 to turn 2, a very slow corner. That's where everyone was having problems yesterday.
Sharply downhill into turn 3 and back uphill to 3A, the highest elevation on the track. Downhill into turn 4A, where everybody jumps over the curbing. Then you have the chute. That goes downhill to turn 7A, which is a very, very tight corner. Then the S's. Wander your way through there. Perhaps the most critical corner, the high-speed turn 11 that sets you up for that run down into the passing zone at turn 11.
Yeah, turn 10 is the fastest part of the racetrack. Turn 11 is the slowest part.
Clock has started, and here they come. 44 cars for 43 starting positions in tomorrow's race.
Mike, I have to be honest. I do like Jeff Gordon's strategy. He mentioned the K&N West cars. They run a bias plier Goodyear tire, and it just lays a little different rubber down. And I think he made another great point. He wants to see how fast other drivers can go. We flirted with a new track record yesterday, Kyle Busch being the fastest.
Jeff Gordon watching as the line files down the end of pit road. Mike Joy with Larry McReynolds. Darrell Waltrip joins us now after shooting a little Fox feature for tomorrow's pre-race.
I just had the most fun I've had all year.
I'm glad.
Out there driving that race car around this track. Boy, what a great, what a thrill. And I learned a lot, too.
And I saw you over there between 4 and 7. You were getting off in the runoff area.
I had to get some air. You knew I had to get air. I didn't want to take a shot at me and not getting air.
Sam Hornish in a Ford for Richard Petty Motorsports will be the first car on the clock coming back from pit road down into 11. Think Martinsville turning right instead of left, and that's kind of turn 11.
Yeah, and it's fun, and it's so hard to come out there with power down. These guys are using first gear, so they got a lot of gear, and they're coming up out there and trying to put the power down. That's really hard. And Mike, it's deceiving right here. This hill is so steep that you let off the gas too early. Whoa, you see Sam there lock up the brakes a little bit.
In yesterday's practice, we only had 2 Ford drivers in the top dozen, Sam Hornish Jr. and then Michael McDowell, another Ford driver. They were the 2 quickest of the Ford camp.
Now, here's something I learned right here. You got to use the berm. You can't half use it. You got to get up on it because it makes the car turn. And right here in turn 7, same thing. Turn 4 there, you got to use that berm to get the car to turn. Same thing when you get over to 7. You can't just half-heartedly do it. You got to get up on that thing, and it makes the car cut.
Down through the S's. This is where we're talking about a lot of part throttle, a lot of kind of give and take to keep the car under you.
Yeah, it's just impossible to come down through there wide open. I mean, you want to, you're trying to, but the car just won't. There's just not enough grip in the car.
And this is turn 10 we were talking about, one of the fastest parts of the racetrack, downshifting all the way to first gear to the slowest part. We saw speeds yesterday right here under 40 miles per hour.
And Larry, again, it's really hard to do because you're coming around turn 10 here, you're carrying a lot of speed, and I tell you, that turn 11, it's there. I mean, you're on it before you know it.
76 seconds flat for Sam Hornish. On his first qualifying lap, Martin Truex clocks in quicker, half a second faster, 75.42.
Not as fast as what we saw in practice.
Not even close. Not even close so far. Yesterday, 74.48 was the fast time.
Now, while you were making your way to the booth, Jeff Gordon and others decided they were going to wait and let some other cars go out and put some of the Goodyear Sprint Cup tire rubber down on the racetrack before they went out.
Look, I don't know what tires they had on the cars that Michael and I were driving, but the tires have plenty of grip. And I know we're not running around here in 74 seconds. I understand that. But you could put the power down and you didn't spin the wheels and the cars cut good. So seemed to be a lot of grip in the tires and the track.
Just saw Carl Edwards here in the 19 car. He goes to the top of the sheet. He was fast all day yesterday in practice.
Casey Mears second, Martin Truex, Jimmy Johnson, Ryan Newman the fast 5.
Shuts her down too, Larry. Say those tires.
And I think that's where it can become a little bit of a challenge when you shut it down and you still have almost 2 miles to go back around this road course trying to stay out of the way of other drivers.
Yeah, and you don't want to get out of the groove.
Let's ride along with Joey.
Yeah, you see him. He's coming through down here turn 10. This is tough right here, tricky, because it's easy to run off the track right there. And if you do, you're just about in big trouble. Now, you'll watch him. He grabs a gear, third, second. All right, that was second and up to first. First gear out of this corner with a lot of power. Mad it. And you see when he does, it just kind of snaps it back in. Second gear, going to get really fast right here. Third. Wow. Probably, I felt like he'd catch fourth because you just carry so much speed when you're on these qualifying runs. Back to third, up the hill, back to second when you get to the top.
Turn 2.
Turn 2. Now you're going to accelerate hard. Probably, I don't know if he'll stay in second or not. Looks like he will. Car really bottoms hard right there. You come up the top of 4 here, but you just can't see anything. I mean, you're blind until you get to there. And then, like I said, you have got to get up on those berms. You got to get all over them.
That's the runoff area for other series that run here, but there are no out-of-bounds lines. If it's paved, it's available.
And the amazing thing, Mike, is you're over there and you're headed right for it, but you just it's far enough back that you're able to clear it without too much trouble.
And Daryl, through the S's, we spoke about this yesterday. A driver almost has to think a couple of corners ahead of where you're actually at.
Yeah, you want to try to straighten the corner out. You saw that Denny Hamlin there. He caught the inside of one. You catch the inside of this one. That sets you up for the outside of that one. It's just almost like you're trying to make a straight line down through there by catching the inside of those turns.
You know, Denny Hamlin was a little bit of a head scratcher yesterday. He did not have speed in either one of those practices. In fact, with the Joe Gibbs Toyota drivers, Carl Edwards and Kyle Busch very quick. Matt Kenseth and Denny Hamlin not very fast at all.
Now Kevin Harvick came out and did an up-to-speed lap and came back in. Matt?
Mike, earlier in the show, Joey Meyer, Keselowski spotter, documented about trying to manage the gaps, and that's what happened to Kevin Harvick. When he rolled off, too many cars rolled off ahead. A pack was ahead of him. He felt like it would hinder his chances to have a good, solid, clean lap. So when he came back around, he hit pit road, waited a little bit to roll off to get that clean gap. So now he's going to be on his up-to-speed lap in the 4.
Mike, I like to think about a lap period around this racetrack as if you're a basketball player trying to shoot a three-point shot. When you're wide open, you can knock it down. But when you put a defender in your face, he's got that hand up in your face, and that's distracting you. It changes the dynamics of that shot. And that's what you deal with here when somebody's in front of you, because you have to have that focus, and that car takes it away if somebody's right in your way.
Oh, good point. Here's your track record holder, Jamie McMurray, 74.3. We're about 0.6 of a second off that right now.
Yeah, Jamie has 3 poles here total, 2 consecutive the last 2 years here. You're riding with Dale Earnhardt Jr. just for a second as he was on his cool-down lap. Right now, he's 3rd in that 88 car.
McMurray was on fast pace. He's back there again now, flirting with it, back and forth. He's going to come up a bunch of clog of cars, but they're all going to be out of the way heading for pit lane, it looks like. As he comes through turn 10, you'll see the traffic as he approaches 11.
There's no question, I think Jamie McMurray is probably our best road course racer that's not been the victory lane here at Sonoma.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, you know, when you won the 24 hours of Daytona, you must be a pretty good road racer.
McMurray to the stripe, but he's going to be 10th. Tony Stewart is at the top of the board.
And a big surprise, we were speaking about the speed that Denny Hamlin did not have yesterday. He's 2nd quickest in that 11 car.
Jamie?
Martin Truex Jr. had high expectations for qualifying. He's 7th. In his feedback after he went out, he said, I thought I'd have more grip than that, but I slid and slid some more. I think we should have waited. Meanwhile, the 24 spotter, Eddie DeHaan, just told Jeff Gordon, I think we made the right choice in sitting here and waiting for that K&N rubber to be picked up.
Thanks, Jamie. A.J. Allmendinger, a lot of people looking at him as a possible winner tomorrow.
Well, you can just see how hard you work. That's one thing I noticed. In 3 or 4 laps, you're taking some deep breaths around this place.
First gear, let's ride and listen.
He stayed in 3rd gear.
Yeah.
On the driver's left here.
Now up to 3.8, it's blind rise. You can't see the exit of the corner as you crest it.
I watch for that tent. And like Larry said, I hope they don't move it the next time I go out.
Caution is out. The 46. Michael Annett lost a transmission yesterday, and his car is now stationary.
Not only did they lose a transmission, they had to change the engine in that 46 car last night. So qualifying for him was just more laps with this engine because there's no more practice. Pit selection, he'll have to go to the rear of the field. But this is absolutely not what A.J. Allmendinger wanted, was this caution.
Tony Stewart, Denny Hamlin, Dale Earnhardt Jr. fastest so far. A.J. Allmendinger's potential fastest run of the group spoiled by a caution flag. He had to coast back into position and get ready to go again, as do Kyle and Kurt Busch and Austin Dillon. Matt?
Mike, going to commercial, you saw a shot of Greg Allmendinger, AJ's father. He was shaking his head when the caution came out because AJ was on his run. Now, they brought the 47 car back in. They've plugged him up. They're going to cool him off, cool down the temperatures in this 47 car, send him back out. Now, his team asked him, does the track feel different than it did yesterday? Because a number of drivers are saying it has a lot less grip. AJ said he felt like that it was very similar to yesterday, and he didn't really see or feel that lack of grip that others are complaining about.
Okay, thanks, Matt. 4 of the fastest 6 in practice yesterday have yet to put down a lap. That includes the Busch brothers, Clint Boyer and Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, we felt like yesterday we watched, like Kyle Busch, he put down a 74.48. That's just a little wee bit off the record, 74.35. So we thought surely we would probably get right down on that record, but we got some little work to do yet.
And Mike, we've been talking about A.J. Allmendinger. Kyle and Kurt Busch were out on that racetrack too when that caution flew.
David Reagan, you see him rolling out there. He was quick in the first practice session. Got Boyer, he was quick. There's some fast cars going out.
Both the MWR cars were good in practice. Gordon leaving a gap, Kyle Larson behind him. Well, the good thing about the caution, these cars will have clear racetrack, not have to worry about people coasting down after their run. The bad thing, 4 good cars had their runs spoiled by the caution. But that's why the session is 25 minutes long.
Yeah.
And the red flag did stop the clock. We have 15 minutes to go.
Well, I don't think there's any question, Larry, that sticker tires would be a lot better than tires that you've already put a lap or 2 on. But I don't think there's a lot of fall off in these tires up to the first maybe 8 or 10 laps. So you're going to be close, but you're probably going to give up a little bit if you've already buffed those tires.
But I find this so interesting because we're used to 3 rounds of qualifying. We're going to go from round 1 to round 2 with just 12 drivers left to go for this pole. So I see a lot of drivers like Jamie McMurray, Jimmy Johnson, Ryan Newman. They have to be prepared to make another run in this first round.
Yeah, I mean, normally you're trying to make top 24 in this first round and then move on. But today,
right, you see the cutoff line at 12. Only 12 will advance from this session.
You know, I look at Michael Waltrip Racing. Of course, they've won 2 of the last 3 races here. This could be where something good could happen for this organization. They have not had a top 5 finish so far in 2015. David Reagan in the 55, but he was in the 18. He has a top 5 at Martinsville.
Yeah, Larry, I think every team, every driver, they got tracks that they kind of draw a line under. They red line and say this is our chance, this is our place. Certainly for Michael's group, this is one of them. Others, you know, they're going to look next week at Daytona, and others are going to look at a new rule package at Kentucky. So I think we're in that period of the year where there's a lot of teams that think they need wins and they got opportunities over the next few weeks to get them. And Indy's coming up. A lot of unique racetracks.
Look at 3 of the 4 drivers on track right now are under Tony Stewart's class-leading time.
Yeah, David Reagan, he's 3/10 to the good right now over Tony Stewart.
Yeah, look at Gordon down there. He's 5 up. 6.
Going to close to 3/4 of a second.
Turn 7, Jeff Gordon to the Essex.
And right there, you could hear that little bit of wheel spin as he was trying to put that power down.
And he lost a little bit of time because of that, but he seems to be gaining it back,
Now there's 9, now headed for turn 10.
Critical turn 10. How you get around here helps how you get down into 11. Lost a little wee bit time there, but still got some in the bank.
And to the hairpin.
David Reagan went to the top of the sheet.
See what Gordon's got. He's got a little bit in the bank here, looking pretty good. 3/10 off of turn 11. Coming to the line.
And Gordon knocks David Reagan off the top spot by 0.3 of a second. And right behind him, Kyle Larson.
And what would you call a 74.186?
A new track record.
I mean, by a long shot.
Wow.
Big time.
He nailed that lap.
Yeah, you nailed 1 through 7 there, but that was good.
No, that was great.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, they had Jeff on the tracker.
And those few laps sent some teams scrambling on pit road to try to get back out there and make another run.
You got that right. That's an unbelievable lap. McMurray did it last year. You know, he set the record last year, and here he is, his teammate this year, done that same thing. Great run.
Second new track record of the season and the first since Las Vegas. And it goes to a driver who came here last year like a fish out of water.
Yeah, you know, Mike, I had a lot of drivers tell me that these cars are more fun to drive this year, a little bit easier because they have a little wee bit less horsepower. So the driver can really hustle the car, get back in the gas, and not break the tires loose like they did last year with all the power they had.
I know he was a fish out of the water in the race, but he did qualify 3rd 1 year ago here, talking about Kyle Larson. Paul Menard, the 27, he's another driver. They had to change the engine in that car, so this is pretty much for pit selection only for Paul. He'll have to start at the rear of the field.
So Danica Patrick who was Fast 5 in the opening practice yesterday, is now on the hot seat in 12th. She would be the last car to transfer if in the next 11 minutes no one breaks into the top dozen.
And you see AJ back out here taking it pretty easy right now. Just get around and start his lap.
I watched some drivers, Darrell, they didn't really get on it until they were between 10 and 11 because 11 is such a slow corner anyhow.
No reason to. Just save those tires.
So Allmendinger and the Busch brothers on track. They were the ones that had their speed run nullified by the caution flag for Michael Annett.
Ooh, man.
Whoa.
Kurt way over in that runoff area.
And he's coming up on Boris Said.
And Boris, yeah, he does. He gets out of his way. Good job, Boris.
But Darrell, as much as anything, that has to be just a flash of a distraction.
Well, you're wondering, is he going to get out of my way or not? And do I hammer down and hope he does, or do I hammer down and maybe run into him? So, yeah, there's that moment of uncertainty in there when it can affect your lap.
From 10 to 11 and into the hairpin for Kurt Busch.
Yeah, Kurt close to a half a second off from Kyle Larson right now with his 41 car.
Yeah, Larry, he lost a good bit of time through the S's and on the tight end of the racetrack.
Fourth for Kurt Busch.
Allmendinger in the green.
That will bump Danica and put Kevin Harvick on the hot seat.
Got a long way to go back around here. He's turn 4. Fighting with it pretty good. Still in the green. Catches all the way to first gear. He saw him second first real quick.
There right now, he's close to a half a second to the good in the green.
Boy, he is. That'd be an amazing lap if he can hold it together.
He's got to get through these S's.
Man, he's gaining time. He gained a little bit through there. Kind of holding his own right here. Losing a little bit here, a little bit here. Hustle down. Losing a little bit of time through 10 there.
Got to get off the hairpin.
If he can get off here with some power down, pretty good.
He made sure he didn't overdrive the entrance to turn 11.
That's exactly why it went red there. He was real slow. It's going to be so close. Lost a little bit of time off 11.
Second by 1.5 1/100ths of a second.
But yeah, but still, that's under the track record of a 74.35. So that's 2 cars that have broken the track record.
Kevin Harvick is bumped. Biffle to the bubble. Biffle is bumped. And now Clint Boyer is in the 12th and final transfer spot.
And we're down to 8 minutes to go in this first round.
Tell you what, when I look at that rundown, old money, the 24 car, look at him. He's sitting there in third place, probably licking his chops right now.
Austin Dillon was another driver who had his run interrupted by the caution flag for Annett.
Three car didn't show a whole lot of speed in practice.
Yeah, right now, the difference between Kyle Larson in the 42 and Clint Boyer in the 15, who's 12th, is about a second.
Austin Dillon, 37th.
Yeah, that car's been, he was slow in practice yesterday, and they haven't really tuned her up much.
Joey Logano doing a ride around. He is 19th on the board right now, looking to improve.
Mikey's cutting the motor off, just kind of cooling things. Getting ready for another round or another lap, whatever he decides to do here. Got to make another lap to get in.
Martin Truex on it. He is 17th at the moment.
Car's free right there, man. He swung it around that top of the hill there.
Carried that right front wheel in the air all the way over the hill.
Yeah, car was real free looking around that top of turn 3 up there.
But he and Michael McDowell right now in the green, and that is to Clint Boyer in the 15, who's 12th right now.
Oh, McDowell really throwing that car around.
McDowell is hustling that thing, man.
He was good in practice.
He was. He's a good road racer. Really good.
All right, carried good speed through 10 down to 11.
Yeah, he lost a little bit there in 10. The car is a little loose, but maybe he can get it back here off turn 11. See what he's got.
His gap increasing all the way through turn 11.
He really rolled the center of 11.
Yes. He did, and he wasn't, you know how you do that. We just wasn't on the brakes. I mean, he was really nice and rolled that center.
McDowell is 12th. He knocks out Clint Boyer.
Ooh.
That's bottoming out right there on those rumble strips.
Yeah, that's the tailpipe, side skirts,
now
a lot of things.
Martin Truex goes to 7th. That knocks out McDowell. Edwards on the hot seat.
Let's see what he's got here. Watch it. Working that throttle, trying to get it down. Coming down here to turn 10. Hang on, Sloopy. Hustle it through here. Stays in high gear, looks like.
Second, first.
Yeah, it was third gear he was in. I get confused. I can't see the shifter.
He made sure as well he didn't overdrive the entrance to turn 11. Was able to get that good drive off.
Got a nice roll in there. Let's see what he got.
11th, he's in. Edwards is out. Earnhardt to the bubble. Ryan Newman to 11th.
And that puts Joey Logano right back on the bubble in that 22 car.
Man, I got to go out again.
And it knocks out Dale Jr.
I tell you, guy's got to be scratching his head right now is McMurray. He's all the way down in 21st. His teammates on the pole with a new track record right now.
Matt?
Mike, after Kevin Harvick made his run and Rodney Childers knowing that both Allmendinger and their teammate Kurt Busch were still left to make their runs, they plugged in the 4 car to try to cool it off, knowing more than likely they're going to have to go back out. They waited till 5 minutes left in the session. Harvick said that the car was balance-wise or grip-wise fine. He just messed up down in turn 11. Carl Edwards felt like he had a lot more left in his car, and he's been bumped out as well.
Jamie McMurray. 75.53 on his first run. And that is 1.3 seconds away from the fastest lap. And about half a second off of transferring.
And these drivers making an additional run, if it doesn't get them to the top 12, if they improve their starting spot whatsoever, it's about as critical, if not more critical here than a short track.
You know, Larry, I think a driver can make, even on older tires, a driver can make all the difference in the world in his lap. He can screw up a lap or a turn or two and it really hurts a overall time, or he can go out there and run a perfect lap and really pick up.
McMurray gaining. It blinked green for an instant.
He's right on the edge.
Thousandths. Yes, 12th.
Right on the edge.
He knocks out Logano. So McMurray barely hanging on to 12th spot. Joey Logano 13th after a total of 3 laps.
We're going to try to get him out again. Looks like they're putting a window net up.
Nothing to lose, Darrell.
You got to try.
But just remember, this is critical right there because it takes 1 minute and 14 seconds to get around here. Unless you just want to hustle it around here to start a lap, you probably need to be leaving within about the next minute.
I think so, Larry.
To start a lap.
And you're not going to be doing that cutting off coasting thing
No,
either.
you're going to have to be hustling.
You have to go somewhere.
Got to be in a hurry and hope for a gap.
Danica's working hard here, trying to get back in.
As well as Jimmy Johnson in that 48 car. Jimmy right now sits 26th.
Well, that was Danica got around turn 10 there. Looked really good. Way out wide. Got a late entry here to the corner. Could carry some good speed off.
And she got off turn 11 pretty good.
Pretty good. But
just flirting with the red.
Going the wrong way.
Yep. Good mid-corner and exit.
Yep.
Not quite enough.
But she did improve her spot, which is important.
17th for Patrick. Matt Kenseth gave Jimmy Johnson a lot of room there.
He did. And
Nice
right now, I mean, Jimmy Johnson way over in 26th position. And Larry, I haven't really seen this car show a lot of speed this weekend. Looks like they've been struggling with some handling, I guess. Just haven't been able to get any fast laps.
But Darrell, he rode turn 11
well, he got
pretty
that,
good.
He got a
back
fast
in the
turn.
throttle. It's going to be good, I think.
He got through there pretty darn good.
10th for Johnson.
There you go. Up from 26. Nice move.
Newman out. Hamlin to the bubble.
And
Matt Kenseth 7th.
Harvick's still in the red, though.
Hamlin's out. Stewart's in on the bubble.
St. Stewart's on the bubble. When we started, he was on the pole.
Right.
He went from one end to the other.
1:17 left to begin a timed lap, or time will expire.
And I just saw Ricky Stenhouse Jr. just leave pit road. I don't think he can get back around here to start a lap. If he does, it's going to be close.
Yeah, he's got a little over a minute, but not much. Right on the board.
Denny Hamlin on a flyer. Clint Boyer currently 9th.
Yeah,
and Carl Edwards on a run.
Boyer's not going to have to make this run. There's Tony Stewart, who's just outside the top 12 right now.
I like the way Stewart's car looks right now. He's really hustling, and the car looks like it's working for him. Gets up on the berm there.
Everybody aiming at Jimmy Johnson.
I like what Tony's doing.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time is expired for round 1. All cars can come back. All cars.
That was the NASCAR control tower, and what he was saying, all cars that are on the track now that's not crossed the start-finish line, they can complete their lap.
It's pretty good here for Stewart. Yes, sir, up to third. I knew he was on a pretty fast lap, and of course Denny Hamlin's still coming too, I think.
Great run for Tony, moves David Rake into the bubble.
And Hamlin has to keep coming because right now he's 15th, but tracking in the red and going the wrong direction. Stays 15th.
Yep. 2/100ths slower than his first lap.
Well, there he is.
Wednesday night at AT&T Park, Kyle Larson saying, "Take me out to the ball game." Today, he's singing, "Follow Me."
I bet he qualified better than he sang.
No question about that.
I heard that.
It's already been a wild weekend at Sonoma, and it's only Saturday. Let's see how positions 13 through 43 were set in this first round of qualifying.
Well, I would say Jimmy Johnson, I know they would like to make the top 12, but I think that's the best he's been all weekend.
Oh, by far, yeah. I was a little worried about those guys. They hadn't shown a lot of speed, but that's a great second time he went out. He really picked it up.
Jamie Mack, the prior track record holder, back there, along with Joey Logano. 3 drivers broke the track record in this session.
Casey Kane, a past winner here at Sonoma way back in 26th.
That was a great job. I know we're at the back of the field here, but I got to call out to Tony Stewart. That was a great second run he made.
And Brendan Gaughan is the one driver who will not be racing here on Sunday. Jamie Little?
Well, Joey Logano was one of those drivers that decided to go out early. And did you get everything that you feel you could have, Joey?
I felt like my first lap was pretty good. And I'm like, it's not bad, you know, just a little balance things, but nothing terrible. And we were P5 on the board there, and I was like, all right. And then after that red flag, it seemed like the track picked up a ton, and everyone went very fast. You know, so we went out again, which we picked up some speed also, but just second run on tires, and it's hard to run as fast as those guys do on their first run. So I think some of the K&N West rubber that was out there and stuff wasn't cleaned up as much as we thought it, or as quick as we thought it would pick up. So we ended up maybe just timing it a little bit wrong this time.
Well, we had a good time watching your feet. Thanks for carrying the foot cam. Joey Logano will start 19.
Jamie, 2 spots ahead. 17th is Kevin Harvick. So, Kevin, what section of the track cost you the most time?
What section didn't I screw up? Yeah, this has just been something I've never been very good at as far as the qualifying thing here at Sonoma. Our Budweiser Outback Folds of Honor Chevy is handling good and doing all the things that you want it to do, and it's really good in race trim. Really good in qualifying trim, but I was just too easy in 2, 3, and 4, and okay down the hill, and then got up the racetrack both laps in 11, or what I call 11. So that cost us 3 or 4 tenths both times. So just have a good car. Got some cars to pass. We passed a lot of cars last year, but just not very good at the qualifying thing here for whatever reason.
Still keep an eye on that 4 car, though. 3 top 10s in the last 5 races here at Sonoma, Mike.
Thanks, Matt. The fans getting ready for round 2 of knockout qualifying. Here are the drivers again. The top 3, Larson, Allmendinger, and Stewart, each broke the track record.
Both the Michael Waltrip Racing Toyota drivers in there, Clint Boyer and David Reagan, 10th and 12th.
Yeah, they showed a lot of speed, in practice yesterday, and there they are in the top 12. Nice job by those teams.
And a driver that didn't show a lot of speed yesterday, he's up there, Matt Kenseth in that 20 car.
And Brad Keselowski said, I just don't know. And he's the only Ford to make the top dozen. I guess he knows now. Welcome back to Sonoma. How important is it making the final round? Well, 9 races have been won by drivers this year who made it to the final round of qualifying. Matt?
Mike, a great drive last year here at Sonoma for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Qualified 17th and finished 3rd, and you're still very optimistic about the 88 car starting 20th.
Yeah, I think the car's going to be good. We just didn't get to go out and run a second run there in qualifying. Everybody picked up. They did the same thing last year and felt like we had a good enough shot to get in the top 12. But coming out of turn 11 to the green on our second run, the car got stuck in second gear and the transmission won't shift. So we'll change the transmission. We won't have to go to the rear, but I'm real happy with the car. We worked on it hard yesterday. We weren't good when we got here, but we made it. It's going to be a fun car tomorrow.
All right, good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Mike?
Should be fun.
Yeah, the rules here are different at Sonoma. We talk a lot about drivers having to change transmissions after qualifying or changing the gear over the course of the weekend like Dale Earnhardt Jr. had to do a couple of weeks ago. Here, you can change your gear transmission as long as you have the mandated ratios as much as you want throughout the weekend.
Jamie?
Well, Greg Biffle qualified 22nd. Heard a little bit of feedback from you, but what was your take on that first round?
You know, I mean, the track seemed like it had a lot of grip, and then I looked at the lap times and they weren't that fast. And so we waited a little bit to make our first run, went out. We ended up 10th on our first run. I thought, well, we're going to be okay. And everybody's second run was really fast, and we actually picked up on our second run, and I thought it'd put us right in there. But times are so tight and so close, put us 22nd. I was really shocked by that. But, you know, when I look who I'm around, I'm around a bunch of good cars, a bunch of fast cars. So everybody's so competitive, so tight on the times. It's amazing. We usually don't see that at road courses, but really tight. We have got a good car, so we'll see how we end up on Sunday.
I have a feeling you're going to be okay on Sunday. 3 consecutive top 10 finishes here at Sonoma.
Thanks, Jamie. 10 minutes for round number 2. 12 drivers to run for the pole. 7 Chevys, 4 Toyotas, 1 Ford.
In the laps on tires, it's kind of mixed up because with 1 lap on their tires, Kyle Larson, Jeff Gordon, Brad Keselowski, David Reagan. 2 laps, A.J. Allmendinger, Kyle and Kurt Busch. 3 laps, Tony Stewart, Casey Mears, Matt Kenseth, Clint Boyer, and Martin Truex Jr.
And Larry, you heard the guys say, looked like the second time out, they actually went faster.
But if you're going to make a second run in this one, you better get done with this first one in a hurry.
You may not have that chance in this one. That just seemed to work all right in that first session. Had a little more time. One thing I noticed in Dale Jr.'s interview, that when he was talking about his car, that's about as optimistic as I've seen him on the road course. He was very optimistic about his car, put another gearbox in it. He said, car will be good tomorrow.
Martin Truex out of turn 7 and down into the S's. If you count them, there's more than just 2 more turns. There's 8, there's 8A, there's 9.
Yeah.
You just kind of wander your way through there.
Yeah. We round off.
Right.
You know, while we're waiting for Brad Keselowski to start his lap, we interviewed Kevin Harvick, we interviewed Joey Logano. There's only been 1 qualifying session in 2015 where we had neither one of them in the final round, and that was a restrictor plate qualifying session at Talladega. Both of them have 11 top 10 starts this year.
So at least half of the top 12 are out on the track and pretty well spaced out as you look at turn 2.
Life becomes a lot simpler with just 12 drivers versus 44.
Sharply downhill into turn 3 there, into that dip. Up over that blind rise at turn 3A, and now coming down into 4.
Yeah, I think the question here is can this 42 car, Kyle Larson, can he back that time up and hang on to that pole?
Daryl, I'd have to believe that lap he ran in round 1, he had to have hit every corner perfect.
I guarantee you, Larry, that is an amazing lap around this racetrack. I mean, a low 74. That's a couple of tenths quicker than we went last year with more downforce and more horsepower.
Yes. Remember at Bathurst, Australia, when Greg Murphy ran the lap of the gods?
Yeah.
Well, this lap by Kyle Larson earlier may well fit in that category.
Right in there, I guarantee you. Yeah.
You see Brad Keselowski headed toward the start-finish line. He'll be the first driver to lay a lap.
Oh, a spin off turn 10. And a big one. Look at that cloud of dust. It's Kyle Busch.
Boy,
and caution is out.
And his brother, Kurt Busch, you just saw the red car had to drive through that.
And the clock stops. So the question, Larry, is when Kurt Busch comes across the line, will his time count?
Yeah, they're waving the red flag right now. I think when that clock stops, I think pretty much everything locks down.
Now, we had a situation like this at Pocono, and I think they made an adjustment in the deal after Pocono, didn't they?
But right now, we're showing on the scoring monitor Brad Keselowski. He's the only driver to put a lap. He's the only one. We are being told Brad Keselowski's lap. He's the only one that counts right now. When that clock stops, it pretty much freezes the racetrack. So obviously, huge dividends paid by Brad Keselowski getting off pit road in a hurry to start his lap.
And also for David Reagan and Jeff Gordon, who have not yet left pit road. Here's a look at Kyle Busch, top right of your screen.
See him up in the top of the screen there. Got off in the dirt there on turn 10, which is easy to do.
Here comes Kurt Busch, but by this point, the caution is out. The racetrack is frozen.
So you got to help me here now, because remember what happened at Pocono when Hamlin caused the red flag, but he got to keep his time, but there's only one car with time, right?
Yeah, totally different situation. The adjustment they made, if you bring the caution out, then you don't get to keep that time and start in front of people whose lap you affected.
And the difference then, when Hamlin brought that caution out, there was only, 15 seconds left in the session. Nobody could get back out. In this case, all the 11 drivers who have not posted a time, and Brad, if he wants to, will have time to go back out and make at least one run.
They let the 11 keep the time that he had posted, so I think they made an adjustment on that.
Still under the red flag at Sonoma, the track sweeper working at turn number 10. Only one driver has posted a time, and we're going to show you why. Brad Keselowski was coming around to complete his lap. At the start-finish line, here's the camera here. You will see Brad coming to the line. And then you see Kyle Busch going up in a cloud of smoke at turn 10. Now watch the flagman. Here comes Martin Truex, but the flag is out. That lap does not count because, as you said, Larry, the clock completely stops, and everything after that doesn't count.
And someone may say, wait a minute, those two guys were so close to completing their lap. But what about drivers that were behind Kyle Busch, like Kurt Busch? You can't say these drivers can finish their lap, these drivers can't. It has to be consistent.
Yes, the track was clear to start finish, but they don't use a local yellow flag. When this happens, the caution comes out all the way around the racetrack to protect drivers like that one.
Well, let me tell you, it's a good thing that 18 cranked and was able to move, because I'm not sure the 41 would have seen him.
All right, the track reopens with 7 minutes to go in this session, and 11 drivers still looking to put down a time.
And just remember, based on what we saw in the first round, yeah, there's just under 7 minutes, but you're going to need to leave pit road, somewhere around 1.5 minutes to go to be able to get around to start a lap.
Jeff Gordon will have clean racetrack.
Well, so far, Jeff Gordon waiting in both rounds has paid off for him.
Yeah, I feel bad for the 78 and the 42, though. They both were completing their lap, so now they've got an extra lap. Right here, I'd want to take it a little bit easy. I wouldn't push the car real hard on this warm-up lap. I'd want to coast the car a little bit, not abuse anything. You got to go. You don't have to go full bore, but by the same token, you got to get back around here, so you don't have a lot of time to spare. But right now, you just want to not abuse anything. Just take care of the tires. Just carry some speed here, get your rhythm, get ready to, next time down through here, you're going to be hauling the mail. So you really don't have to worry about getting up a lot of speed, even around turn 10 here.
Well, it looks like one thing you don't want to do in those S's, Darrell, is charge those corners.
No, you'll just flat off the track. Now, from here on, game on. From here on, you want to start hammering it. You want to you take it easy getting in, but as soon as that thing heads up the other way, heads back toward the start-finish line, now you're after it. This is wide open, hard as I can go. I'm on a qualifying run. Fourth gear, and then got the car coast, got third, grab second.
All the way down to first gear.
First gear.
Wow. I don't think we've seen that. First gear out of turn 2.
Been second gear most everybody.
Blind rise at 3A, downhill into 4.
The car was a little bit of a hesitation there on top of 3A, and quite honestly.
And Mike, about that going to first gear, I know a lot of the Hendrick Chevrolet drivers were wanting a lower first or second gear after practice yesterday.
A.J. Allmendinger on your left, Jeff Gordon on your right.
You know what I love about Jeff's lap? It's so smooth. I mean, he's really not using up the berms. He's really not charging the corners. But when he gets in the gas, he's going. It's like how long he's out of the gas. But now listen. Then he's wide open right there.
He's closing in on 0.2 of a second faster than Keselowski. With turn 11 to go.
Kurt Busch second. I'm sorry, that's Busch's get up the speed lap. Here comes Gordon to the stripe.
Got off great, close to a half a second quicker. Yes, 74.69 to the top.
Allmendinger heading for turn 11. On your left.
Hey, 74.69. Second time out on tires. Of course, he's got a bit of an advantage on some of those guys that are pretty fast because he didn't have a lap on his tires that they got caught out with.
And Allmendinger takes it away from Gordon, 74.38.
Right on top of the old track record of 35, so still some good speed out there.
Matt Kenseth now second to Allmendinger. Gordon to third, Reagan, Keselowski.
How about that Matt Kenseth? You just never know about him, do you?
No, because Jason Ratcliffe, his crew chief, told me this morning they pretty much had changed everything throughout the day yesterday but the roof number on that car.
Well, obviously they came with all the wrong things, Larry, and now they got all the right things in it.
Kurt Busch finishing up his lap. He is second to Allmendinger.
They've been really impressed with this 14 car. I think Tony's done a really nice job.
Right now, close to a half a second behind Allmendinger, though. Here's Kyle Larson, about 0.2 behind.
Losing quite a bit of time.
Yeah, well, he didn't even he went up on the berm there in turn 7. Just not quite as aggressive as he was in the first round.
And I just don't think near enough time to get everything cooled back down in this short second round from being out there earlier.
Yeah, I just don't see the attacking the track like he did in his first qualifying round.
Boyer to 5th in that 15 car.
And Stewart to 6th.
And Larson is way off of what he ran in his first go-round.
Well, he gained a lot at turn 11, Darrell, put him 4th.
Yeah.
But yes, it was far off of his first run.
Yeah, about almost 5 tenths.
Now, Brad Keselowski right now, 9th of the 9 drivers that's laid a lap down. He just left pit road. He will easily get a lap started and a lap in here. Under 2 minutes, though.
They didn't even dust the 018 off. They just sent him back out dust and all. Greg's car really looks free. The back end swings around at the top of 3 up there.
Right now, quite a bit off of Allmendinger, over a half of a second as he goes through turn 7. Casey Mears just started his lap as we're close to a minute to go. So all drivers on the track should be in good shape to get a lap in.
I tell you, Mike, coming down through these S's, it's like anticipation. Well, I anticipated being here and I anticipated being there, but if it isn't, I'm in big trouble.
Keselowski and Stewart back out on the course.
Casey Mears up through the S's, about a half a second off with a half a minute to go in this final round.
Kyle Busch up to 10th. Pretty good after spinning out.
I would say.
Yeah, it's good recovery.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time has expired for the final round. All cars can come back. All cars.
Not quite over for A.J. Allmendinger. Brad Keselowski trying to pick up from 10th.
And Brad was about a half a second off trying to make a second run in this final round.
Good effort, but that time's going to fall just a bit. As Keselowski completes his run, 3/100ths off of his earlier lap, and remains 10th. The track goes quiet, and A.J. Allmendinger has won the Coors Light pole for the Toyota Save Mart 350. Third career pole for Allmendinger. About 1/6 of a second separated Kurt Busch from A.J. Allmendinger in the run for the Coors Light pole. A.J. his first pole since Kansas, April of 2012, and his first pole on a road course. Kurt Busch on the front row, 4th time. Matt?
Mike, always one of the drivers to beat when it comes to the road courses. Never a perfect lap, but how close was it?
They were both pretty good. You know, we had that first caution on my first lap, and you know, it's just one of those things you got to reset your mind. But the Kingsford Chevy's been good these first 2 days. I really got to thank all my guys that are here, especially back at the shop. They've worked on this car so much to do everything that we need to get as much speed out of it as possible. So it's a good day, but got to focus on tomorrow.
How do you balance knowing that this is probably one of your best shots to win all year, but not putting too much pressure on yourself? So you make a mistake.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't grown up very well, not putting a lot of pressure on myself. So it is what it is. We know if we go do our job, and if I go do my job tomorrow, and we have solid pit stops, and we just take care of business, at the end we should give ourselves a chance, and that's all we can ask for. So it's a solid start, but the prize is tomorrow.
2 Xfinity wins on a road course, and the win at Watkins Glen put him in the chase a year ago.
First pole ever for Jody and Tad Geschecter with Brad Doherty's team. A.J. Allmendinger started outside pole last year. He and Kurt Busch are the front row.
Well, we've talked about it being a home game for Jeff Gordon. A.J. Allmendinger grew up in nearby San Jose, California. In fact, a home game for 3 of the top 5, Allmendinger, Larson, and Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, Larson, that new track record. I mean, he blistered that first that track record lap.
Had Casey Mears, who's from Bakersfield, in that top 8. Yep, half of them from California. 12 of our 43 starters.
How about Kyle Busch? He spins out, he gets going again, and he ends up inside of row 6.
Interesting group right here. Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano back there, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Good run for Michael McDowell, though.
I think in that crowd right there, the only one I heard that really liked his car was Dale Jr. He seemed to be pretty optimistic about the race tomorrow.
David Gilliland, he has a second-place finish here a few years ago, and Paul Menard, he'll have to go to the rear because of an engine change last night.
My buddy Doug Richards' car back there in the outside row 15, Matt DiBenedetto. Pretty good job of that team.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. deep in the field.
Oh, way back there.
Yeah, watch for Boris Said to mix things up. And Brendan Gaughan is the one car that goes home, not quick enough to make the top 36. Stampede in Sonoma. Move over.
Load them up, move them out.
Bunch of race tires for the Porsche GT3 cars go rolling by. There's a couple of fast tire racks. Speaking of which, it's time for Traction Talk, presented by TireRack.com.
Well, Mike, we race on road courses twice a year, and this is the first year that NASCAR's made a new rule that if it were to rain, we can race in the rain. So, of course, Goodyear came prepared as they always do. This is the rain tire, what we call wets. It's closer to what you see on your car at home as compared to the slicks that we see on all of the ovals. Now, each team is allotted 3 sets of tires. Unfortunately, the forecast, well, we only have sunshine here at Sonoma, but it's also exciting to know that if we were to get rain on a road course, we can go racing. Mike?
Absolutely. Rain tires, windshield wipers.
Watch this, dude. Watch this. He's not done yet.
Oh, there's the good part.
There he goes.
Is he giving a turn signal? I'm going to turn left. It's pretty impressive, though.
All right. Matt?
Kurt Busch chasing his season's 3rd win, first here at Sonoma in 5 years. So what do you like about your car and your package for Sunday?
It has a nice balance all the way through. The braking, transmission gears, the overall corner speed. It's a nice package that Tony Gibson gave me and all the guys back at the shop. Thanks to them and building this special car for a road course race. A little apprehension coming in because we didn't have test sessions or any kind of shakedown sessions. And so to be outside pole with the Haas Automation Chevy, that's awesome. That's what we wanted. And now you got all kinds of strategy plays to figure out now and to get into race mode. So we did our job. We're on front row.
Good luck.
Thank you.
High fives all around for A.J. Allmendinger and his team. A little more celebration. A.J. Allmendinger celebrates with his mom and dad and girlfriend the Coors Light pole for tomorrow's race at Sonoma. He's from Los Gatos, just about an hour and a half south of Sonoma here in the Bay Area. Jamie?
Kyle Larson turned the fastest lap of the day, but he qualified 4th after that 2nd round. How good do you think you are, and how close are you to winning here at your home track?
Oh, I don't know. I thought yesterday in race trim we weren't that great, so surprised to qualify 4th. But then after the first run, I was hoping to be a little bit better. But I don't know if I did make 2 runs that final session because my first one, Kyle Busch spun out, so the yellow came out just as I got to the start-finish line. So I don't know what that lap was. I think it might have actually been a little bit slower. So I think the 2nd run probably was a good thing for me. But would have liked to have been on the pole, but it was all in all a good day for the Viva Vantage team, and we'll go in tomorrow and probably work on it quite a bit throughout the race. Try and keep up with the track conditions and hopefully just be there at the end. It's a tough track, tough race, tough on the equipment, so just got to keep up with it.
A man who grew up oval racing, looking forward to a road course race tomorrow, Matt.
Matt Kenseth will roll off 3rd on Sunday. So is this shaping up? The tone is set. This could be one of your best weekends ever on a road course?
I don't know. Up until 2 laps ago, it was probably one of my worst. So we really struggled with our Dollar General camera yesterday. First lap of qualifying today was bad. They made some adjustments. The warm tires seemed to help us for some reason, and got one really good lap and a decent lap there, that last one. So it was a pleasant surprise to qualify 3rd. Hopefully, we'll get it where it race is good tomorrow.
Best finish on a road course, 8th. He looks to better that on Sunday.
Thanks, Matt. 3 things you need to know from pole qualifying. A.J. Allmendinger, first pole in 82 races, and his first pole here at a road course. Kyle Larson, new track record. 3 drivers broke the track record in round 1 of knockout qualifying. Larson, Allmendinger, and Tony Stewart. And Jimmy Johnson, Kevin Harvick, Dale Earnhardt Jr. all starting well back in the field. Johnson the best of those, 13.
Yeah, I think Larson and Stewart, they get the best of both worlds. You got dirt and asphalt here.
The Tudor United Sports Car Championship from Watkins Glen tomorrow 10 a.m. on Fox Sports 1. Then NASCAR race day at 2, and our coverage of the Toyota Save Mart 350 at 3 Eastern Time. FIFA Women's World Cup 2015 today is coming up next. We'll see you at the Raceway tomorrow.